Hello, my name is Jacob Todson. 6 months ago, I sold nearly everything I own to explore the religions of the ancient past, particularly in Northern Europe. And today, I want to talk about a spirituality, a mythology, and a belief system that gets very little attention in the larger pagan conversation, and that is Finnish spirituality, Finnish mythology, Finnish paganism, and this really big word here, and there's a lot to talk about because I think there's a lot of mythology here, a lot hidden away, and so I didn't want to do this alone, and I don't know how to pronounce things in Finnish very well, and so I really wanted to talk to people from Finland to get their perspective and get their help in understanding their beautiful worldview and their history. And so I teamed up with the band Noiduin, with Henry and Yemina, who have started a band in the recent years and make beautiful music around Finnish folk music, Finnish folk spirituality. And so I really want to share with you their story, but also footage from them as we went out and explored Finland, playing a lot of their music for you so you can experience what Finnish spirituality is, because it's not just the written mythology. And so as we roll through this, you're going to see a lot of interludes with them playing their musical instruments, but also with their music in the background to try to capture the beauty of Finland and its history. And so I'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves, and then we'll start this conversation on Finnish spirituality, paganism, and mythology.
I am Yemina. I am the founder of Noiduin. Noiduin is a dark folk music project that draws its inspiration from Finnish mythology. Noiduin started kind of by accident. I felt really lost in this world, and I think I had lost the connection to myself. And I've always loved music and playing different instruments, kind of, pouring my feelings into music. One day I just, decided to build a talharppa, and when it was finished and I started playing it, I felt this weird feeling, like I had never felt that way before I started to find myself. Then suddenly I met Henry. Actually, on our first date, he told me that he has this similar music project, and I was like, hey, you can't do that, I'm doing it.
I believe that this information is so important for people interested in all pagan traditions, even if you're not interested in Finnish specific beliefs, and this is because what is contained within Finnish mythology is absolutely incredible to read, and to actually be in Finland and feeling the spirits of the land is truly incredible.
I would describe Finnish mythology pretty wide and rich. I would say there are a lot of entities and spirits and customs that are now almost forgotten. We feel like it's something that people shouldn't forget.
Finnish mythology is mostly contained within the book, the Kalevala. What makes this book so fascinating is that unlike the poetic and prose Edda that contain the tales within Norse mythology, the Kalevala was recorded in 1835 by Elias Lönnrot, a Finnish physician who wished to create a body of work that captured the spiritual essence of Finland. Elias compiled the written sources of the Kalevala within the oral history of the Finns and the Karelians, living in the eastern part of the country. In total, Elias would make 11 field trips to speak with different singers and shamans that had memorized these stories for generations of sharing and retelling. This makes the stories of the Kalevala, to me, some of the most pure accounts of oral storytelling in any European mythology. While there are Christian influences and some nationalistic influences as it was the 1800s, they do feel less manipulative than the stories recorded by Snorri nearly 600 years before. And due to the lack of limited filters and time between oral story and written paper, these stories feel very genuine and contain amazing descriptions of the myths of the Finns, as well as how the village folk saw the forests and interacted with the spirits. Despite this large body of work within the Kalevala, many Finns chose not to focus on their mythology, but instead look up to their neighboring Scandinavians and the mythology of the Vikings.
People are really into Scandinavian mythology and Viking culture in general. Maybe it's because it's more popular because of TV shows and games and stuff like that, but even some Finns are not that into, even though if they like Viking stuff, they're not that into Finnish mythology for some reason. Maybe they don't find it so cool or something, but personally I like it more. It feels more natural to me. Modern recreation of Finnish religion, so to speak. I think there is at least one group called Karhun Kansa. They are not that big group, but they are there and they are quite active. But other than that, we are not that organized with any groups. We are like to keep things to ourselves. I always felt a lot of connection to the nature, always enjoyed a lot walking in the woods and hiking and stuff like that. It's kind of a therapy for me, and I think it runs in the family. My father is the same, that he loves the nature and is there all the time.
I also feel connected to the land and the nature in Finland. It's really precious for me, and I've noticed that I get really unhappy if I'm in a big city, especially if I have to stay there really long. So it's important for me to be in the nature, and especially the woods are really important for me.
Finnish mythology in schools is not taught pretty much at all. Of course, we read a little bit Kalevala, and I think when I was a kid, we had like a small play about Elias Lönnrot gathering pieces of Kalevala around the Karelia region. It's not considered as a religious text. It's more like a epic. We have like religion is studied in school, but it's mostly about Christianity. We read about a lot of Bible, and that never connected with me.
Yeah, I can't remember that it would have been taught in school. What I learned about it as a kid, it was something that I could pick up from my siblings, like little things like what is thunder, who makes it, like the Ukko, thunder god. I remember someone at home told me that there is this saunatonttu, sauna gnome, and stuff like that. Like your family kind of teaches stuff like that, but not in school.
I would recommend as a source material for people, of course, Kalevala is a great way to start. There are a lot of translations, I think, in many different languages, of course, English. Then this is really great book, which is translated in English. It's The Magic Songs of the Finns. It has the old spell poems that are collected, and they might date like how many years back. So there's that. Highly recommend it. And
I want to sneak here in the frame. Just to say, as someone coming from America, this is crazy. I have, studied a lot of the source material of like Norse stuff in particular, and the fact that there literally is a book of magic songs. Like, come on. I mean, there's literally just songs for boasting, songs for distress, for healing, for injuries from iron.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So this is what gets me really excited about Finnish mythology and spirituality as it survives, is there's actually a lot of written source materials that I think can inspire pagans around the world. So, back out of frame.
This is one of my favorite books, Mythologia Finnica, but unfortunately this is only in Swedish and in Finnish. Originally it was in Swedish, but it has been translated into Finnish, but of course the poems that were Finnish in the first place in the Swedish version also. Hopefully one day someone will translate this into English. Jemina knows more about this book, it's her book.
Yeah, this is I don't know if this is translated to English, but for Finnish readers, this is a must go. This is about all kinds of beliefs and traditions like shamanism and the gnomes and spirits and, everything.
Like many modern pagan revivals, Finnish paganism does require a lot of homework to really understand. However, as Henry and Jemina described, the true core of the spiritual beliefs is contained within the individual's connection with nature, particularly here in Finland. Aspects such as the afterlife can be a little bit more vague than we're used to, and do not clearly fall into the Christianized categories such as heaven or hell.
The afterlife in Finnish mythology is, as I said earlier, Finnish mythology can be quite wide because it differs from region to region, and of course the source material has been gathered just over few hundred years now, and they've been passed on from father to son by poems, basically. So there is, of course, Tuonela, or Manala, or Vainajola, which is like a underworld in Finnish mythology. So in some descriptions, it's like a mirrored world of our world, in exception that you have a stone bed where you're supposed to sleep and stuff like that. Personally, I think I believe in reincarnation. I think that is the most logical explanation, but who knows, maybe we spend some time in the afterlife and then get a chance to reborn if we want to, or even if we don't want to, we might have to reborn, who knows. Holidays connected with Finnish beliefs are definitely many. They are like, of course, the Midsummer Festival, Juhannus, is like a celebration of sun, basically, and there were a lot of spells during that time, and of course Christmas, which is in Finland called Joulu. There was like sort of a Santa Claus, but it was not that nice guy. Didn't bring gifts. So basically almost every holiday in Finland that are now Christian holidays has like a pagan counterpart. So it was easier to convert people into Christianity. So there are a lot more than those, but those are the well known for. Of course, there is the Ukon Vakka, big celebration.
Then we also have these smaller days in calendar, like I think last week was the Bear's Day.
Yeah.
It's not celebrated, but it's in the calendar.
Yeah, and there are a lot like small days that are like named after some god or some other deity. Give any example, but something usually happens during that time of the year, like lakes get colder or the sun does some certain thing, and it's all about pretty much the cycle of the year.
So taking a brief pause in the middle of this video, if you're enjoying it, please make sure you like and subscribe and all that good YouTuber stuff. And naturally, I do want you to go and support the work of Noiduin. Hit Spotify right now, go to it, add the songs there. All the music that you've been hearing here is, a lot of it's from their new EP that came out really recently, or at the time of making this video. So definitely show them love, show them support. I want to see them make it big, because there's very few Finnish artists who talk about their spirituality and represent it in such a way. But also, if you do appreciate the work I do here at the Wisdom of Odin, I seriously wouldn't be able to do this without Patreon and the amazing people who support me there. This video was not filmed over a long period of time. My time with Yemina and Heathenry was only a couple of days, and then I had to drive all the way back to Helsinki, and then I left like a day later. And so this video required flying to Finland, required renting the car to drive out to them, it required all the food and along the way, and then leaving Finland as well to capture all the footage you see here, as well as other footage you'll see in future videos about Finland. And so truly, I wouldn't be able to do this without Patreon, and thank you so very much to all the wonderful people who support me there already. And if you want to be one of these people, seriously, it helps so much, and I have many benefits for you there as well, including early access videos, live streams. I do a vlog now every month, and then a book supporter tier as well. So lots of ways to support my work here, but please support Noiduin as well. It's an amazing journey that I'm on here, and I'm so grateful, mostly because I get to meet people like Yemina and Heathenry, and I am just forever grateful to all of you as well. But with that, let's get back to this video on Finnish paganism, spirituality, and mythology. So I figured I'd start the God section of this video, well, deity section, being section, where I will be corrected on my Finnish. So my resident Finn here will correct me whenever I'm wrong, but I doubt I'll be wrong once with this amazingly beautiful language. So let us start off. The most important deity is Ukko. Not bad. We're off to a good start. Yeah. So Ukko is really the chief deity. I would say it's actually probably the only being that's referred to as a god. Is that correct?
Yeah. Or you could say that he's like the all-father of Finnish.
Because his name translates to old man.
Yeah.
But he does share a lot of characteristics with Thor as well, as he is also the god of thunder.
Yeah.
And weren't you saying that like thunderstorms are still called something Ukko today?
Yeah. Ukon ilma is like a thunderstorm, so it's like a Ukko's weather.
And so, yeah, everything's going great so far. And now we're going to move to the next name. And probably the second most important being within the Kalevala. And that is VAINAMOINEN.
Not good.
it's all the syllables in here.
Yeah.
VAINAMOINEN. Moinen?
Yeah. VAINAMOINEN.
VAINAMOINEN.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm saying good morning.
Yeah.
VAINAMOINEN.
Yeah.
Let's do it one more time.
VAINAMOINEN.
VAINAMOINEN. Moinen.
Yeah.
VAINAMOINEN. So VAINAMOINEN is kind of similar to Odin in some ways, and a lot of parallels have been drawn to that. He's often depicted as having a big gray beard. He wanders around singing songs and casting spells, and kind of being sad a lot. I feel like he's sad a lot of the time.
He has hard times.
But there is a lot of journeying. Like I remember a lot of the stories is him going somewhere and then like coming back. And then towards the end, I feel like he kind of adopts more of this, just like randomly showing up and doing something and then kind of disappearing in the background of stories. So he definitely does have some Odin-esque aspects. But yeah, he's definitely a really interesting character, and if you read through the Kalevala, you will read a lot about him. Next on the list, and this one's a little easier, Ahti.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah.
Ahti?
Ahti.
Ahti.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Ahti, as far as I know, is just a god of the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any other aspects that people should know, or is that really his main thing?
Yeah. That's his main thing, and when people went fishing, they asked Ahti's permission and luck to give us some fish.
Oh,
basically, yeah.
Tuoni.
Yeah, really good.
Okay.
Tuoni. Yeah.
How?
Tuoni.
Tuoni.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So you actually do pronounce like all the vowels.
Yeah.
You just have to do it in like 1-2 syllables.
Yeah.
And then I had he's just the god of the underworld.
Yeah.
Is there? And if I remember correctly, he's not actually mentioned a lot. He's just more or less you will go to Tuoni's realm or something.
And there is his wife, Tuonetar. Yeah, Tuonetar. And they have a bunch of daughters and sons who are like the most bad diseases in humankind.
And then we have TAPIO.
Yeah, that's good. TAPIO.
I got two for 6 or whatever we're on now. And he is just a god of the forest, or a being of the forest.
And you ask for Tapio's permission to hunt and pray for him to give you some game.
And then his wife is MIELIKKI.
Pretty good. You've been practicing.
I'm tired of being shunned.
MIELIKKI.
Okay, yeah, I'm not doing too bad.
Yeah.
And this is actually one of my favorite. I remember writing in my copy. There was like a prayer that one of the characters made. I think it was Lemon Cowan.
Yeah, Lemminkäinen.
Yeah, Lemminkäinen.
Lemminkäinen.
Lemminkäinen. And he was making a prayer because he was hunting a demonic deer.
Yeah.
And he had to give a prayer to the forest beings and had to like go through like the TAPIO, TAPIO and MIELIKKI, and basically go through them. And I think he also had to like pray to a maiden to like talk to them for him.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting because this prayer is like super long, which again is one of the things I really love about the way these myths are recorded, is that you get these very long prayers to deities that we definitely don't have in things like Norse mythology.
Yeah.
But anything besides her, just forest. She's in the forest as well.
Yeah. She's Tapio's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as far as we have the creation, like kind of mother goddess ILMATAR.
Yeah. ILMATAR.
ILMATAR?
Yeah.
Okay. And as far as I know, really she's just mentioned in the beginning, and she is the mother of VAINAMOINEN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So VAINAMOINEN.
VAINAMOINEN.
Took
I need to say it with more vigor.
Yeah.
VAINAMOINEN.
VAINAMOINEN took his fair amount of time before he get fed up to being in the womb. He was already 30-year-old man when he was like, fuck it, I'm getting out there and see what's going on.
Yeah, and then because she's an essence of air, because her name just means like air, spirit, or something like that.
Yeah, Ilma is air, So Ilmatar would mean like a feminine air, basically.
And then this is something I don't remember too much from actually reading the Kalevala is LEMPO, right?
Yeah, LEMPO. That's too hard to explain. There are like so many meanings to LEMPO. So.
Because the only thing I found like on my when I was reviewing my notes is that he was like a devil-like figure.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's something that's kind of been added a little bit.
Yeah. I don't remember for sure, but I think LEMPO was in the first place the reason for people to fall in love with each other, but that was considered to be a bad thing because people do crazy stuff when they're in love. So, yeah. Yeah.
So maybe not a bad thing.
Yeah, maybe not a bad thing.
And this is one you actually added to my list because I didn't know this one, which was IKU-TURSO.
Yeah, IKU-TURSO.
IKU-TURSO.
Or Turisas or Turilas, which is this sea monster. It's in Kalevala too, and it was also said to be the god of war. So you would ask good fortune for him if you go to war and battle.
Do you think that was probably because that a lot of times war and battle was made by going out on a boat?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure in Finland, no, because we didn't go to the sea like to fight battles like Vikings did. So,
Because I know a lot of, it's a lot of it's still sea-based because like, there used to be a lot more water here and stuff.
Yeah, there are a lot of lakes and stuff, but I don't think...
You wouldn't go in the middle of the lake to fight.
No.
Like we'll fight in the lake, like men. And then another important figure as well is ILMARINEN.
Yeah.
How did I do on that one?
Good. Okay. ILMARINEN.
ILMARINEN.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was perfect.
Oh, I think it was an extra tongue flick in the middle. It was like ILMARINEN. The key to Finnish is lots of just do that when you talk. All right.
Yeah.
And yeah, because he's talked about a lot. He's very similar to VAINAMOINEN.
Yeah, he's one of the main characters in Kalevala, definitely. So he's the one who is the great blacksmith in Kalevala, and he forges SAMPO, which is this great piece of device that cranks up endless riches. So basically everybody wants to have it.
And I think this is a good kind of cap-off point because there's many other deities and beings we can kind of talk about. And there's many reference within the Kalevala and then, just throughout society and life and place names and all this stuff. Just like any pagan belief in the past is, there's just an infinite choice, really.
Yeah.
But these are what has been recorded primarily in the Kalevala. But I think a good way to kind of cap it off is just the idea of spirit in general, because with the ILMARINEN. See, I can't. I forget it so fast. With ILMARINEN. Am I messing it up again?
It's okay.
It's okay. I'll take okay. With him and his forging the SAMPO, we also see a connection with iron as well, because there's an extensive story about the creation of iron and how important it was. And that was something I saw at a cave painting here, is iron oxide is used to paint. And so iron is just a really sacred element to the Finns. And so the spirit that is in things such as iron or such as bears, I think more crucial to the belief of the Finns, and then we see in the other surviving beliefs of like the Scandinavian countries and the Celtic countries.
Yeah, you would have to cast certain spells if you're about to do work with iron, for example, if you're a blacksmith, or just using an axe or sword. You would have to say some spells to your weapon so it won't hurt you or cut you, because you don't want that. You have to keep basically everything happy all the time, that be complement to even some objects that need to be respected.
Yeah, and I think that's something that, again, when you say like spirituality is kind of this for everyone in a sense, but like there's obviously, you know, Finnish beliefs and the ways of looking at it. But I like what you just said there is like keeping everything happy.
Yeah.
Like, are you keeping your iron happy? Are you keeping your milk happy? Are you keeping your cows happy? Your wife happy? You know, the trees happy? And if there's something wrong in your life, it's because one of those things is unhappy, and you need to figure out which one of those things and give it more respect. And I think that's something we can all attest to in a certain way.
Yeah.
Yemina is actually off screen right now, but she's going to describe a little bit more of how bears are related and their very important role in Finnish myth and spirituality today.
So we are in Hämeenkyrö by this 400 years old tree, Timispine, Timin Mänty, and people would come here because they believed that this tree could heal their toothache, and you would stick a toothpick into the tree, and when the tree grows and the pick falls out, then you are healed from your pain. And it was also used in another kind of spiritual purposes during the bear hunt, because bear has always been the most sacred animal to the Finnish people. So during the bear hunt, when the bear was killed, you would take its skull and hang it high up to the branches of the pine, so that the bear could go back to its heavenly home, and that way it can be reborn in the springtime. There's a lot of beliefs and rituals and spells and stuff like that that are related to bears. And one thing comes into my mind, like if you're a woman and you go to the woods and you meet a bear, all you have to do is lift your skirt, because the bear will be scared of your womanhood. But you know, if you're a man, then tough luck.
It just bites.
And so it was believed that the bear lives in the stars, in the star constellation. And in the springtime, it is reborn, and there's a lot of rituals that has to be done in the bear hunt. Like the men have to do all kind of weird stuff in order the hunt to succeed, and you actually have to foresee the bear's resting place in your dream in order for you to go and hunt it down. And you can't really say that you kill the bear, because that's really offensive. And bears have like lots of nicknames, because you can't say its real name, so that would be also offensive. You know, when the bear is hunted down, every man that was involved in that hunt, they have to shake the dead bear's hand in order to apologize.
Someone in America, for example, would like to worship Ukko or other Finnish deities, I'd say go for it. I think spirituality is for everyone if they choose so. Everyone has their own way of doing it. I think it's more personal thing than any organized religion. I don't find that to be really spiritual. I don't think it doesn't depend where you are. It's more what you connect with. But I'd say that it's easier to connect with the gods or deities you want to worship if you are where they are from, or at least go there like
On pilgrimage.
yeah.
We have covered a lot of information in this video, and by no means is this all the information about Finnish mythology, paganism, and spirituality. This is an introduction, and so I really want to encourage you to pick up your own copy of the Kalevala or the spells of the Finns, because this is all such important information, both for people in Finland, people interested in Finnish mythology, but also I think for pagans around the world, because people that are interested in Norse mythology or Celtic myth and legend, you're just not going to find something like this, like actual written source material of spells, of songs to the gods. I think this is just so amazing. And so I truly hope that this video has been helpful for everyone interested in spirituality from all of the ancient North. And in particular, I hope that this really gives a launching ground for people in Finland or people interested in Finnish spirituality, because I do think it's not talked about enough, despite it being so beautiful. So thank you so much for joining me for this video, and I hope that you give lots of love to Yemina and Henry and their project Noiduin, because I absolutely love their music. I love my time with them, and I really hope you got a taste for who they are as people, because they are truly lovely and deep spiritual people as well that love the land they come from, particularly the nature. So thank you very much to Yemina and Henry.
If you want to learn more about Noiduin, you can find us from Bandcamp and Spotify and YouTube.
Thank you for watching and being interested in our culture. It's an honor to be involved in this great series. And if you're interested in our music and the instruments we use, we make them by ourselves. And we actually sell them also in Vainamoi web store, so go ahead and check them out. I like to do contests.
With that, thank you so very much for joining me for this video on Finnish paganism, mythology, and spirituality, and how it survives today.